So what does war never changes mean? It means that after every game, everything gets destroyed because war never changes, and that everything's doomed to fall apart and just become destroyed, and that anything that we do is just meaningless. So why play the games at all? No, that is the most doomer Ulysses take I've ever seen about war never change. War never change means there are multiple different people, factions, with all their altering ideologies and way of seeing the world in the way that they want the world and the wasteland to end up being like. And those ideologies, those opinions, those futures all collide with each other. And so they collide with each other, causing war, causing battles, not destruction. It may result in destruction, but that does not mean it is purely destruction. It is that people, groups like the Brotherhood of Steel and the Enclave, or the Brotherhood of Steel, the Railroad, the Minutemen, or against the Institute, or like in the first games with the Master or the Enclave. They have their ideology on how the world should be, how it should run, what it should turn into. And other people have an opposing view, leading to conflict. It is conflict, not destruction. War doesn't equal destruction. Did the first two world wars destroy the entire planet and everything? No. Would the third potentially? Who knows? But that's not what we're talking about. We're talking about the theme of Fallout. The theme of Fallout isn't everything always gets destroyed. It is that people are always at conflict with each other, no matter if the world is perfect or destroyed, because they have their own beliefs on how the world should be. And until people can set aside their differences, their opinions, and can talk to each other, just like the Fallout community should, there will always be conflict. Hence why war never changes. Not war destroys everything. War never changes because people and their ideologies will always clash until someone potentially never, at least in the Fallout universe, will be on top. So till then, war will never change because people will never change. That's the theme. It isn't about war, it's about the people behind the wars. And that is what we do in every single game. We come out of the vault with a purpose, or after dying with a purpose, and then we learn about something bigger, something way bigger than that purpose, and we decide to do something about it and have a direct effect on that. And what they're showing us in Fallout New Vegas now with the show contradicts that and shows that that didn't do anything. That what the whole game was for seems to be for nothing. Now, that could be a red herring. Maybe they want us to all think that. That's what I'm starting to believe, especially after episode 5. I'm not saying I don't like the show. I love the show. I love the show. I love the games. I'm not a fanboy for New Vegas. Fallout 3 is my favorite, so they better not mess up the Capital Wasteland. That's when I'll be fanboying. So you guys can hold back on those comments too. War never changes means the people behind these factions, people themselves can never change. They can't take a second to actually talk about their differences. They just want to prove that their differences, that their ideologies are what is true, and that other people cannot stop them. And of course they will. That's how people work. People are contempt where they're at, where they lie. All these people who are born through the Enclave, born into the Institute, born into the Brotherhood of Steel. They are indoctrinated into these forms. And yes, like Dane or Maximus, they may know that it is bad, but it's not as bad as being out in the wasteland. It's not as bad as having to find every meal, other than being able to get a meal consistently because you're in this group. So people don't leave. They're content where they're at. If they're safe, well-fed, and can get a good night's rest of sleep, then they're not going to complain too much. And so it takes these people who are pushed out of their comfort zone, pushed out into the wasteland with nothing to their names, with no knowledge of what to do to enact a change, to break this habit of war never changing. That is the point of these games, and that at the end of it all, we just become another cog in the machine of war. Not of destruction, of war. And that is why war never changes. And so, if you disagree with me, let me know down below. But I think I have a pretty solid stance on this topic, so it's going to be some heated debates in the comment, I hope. And if this is the first time you've ever seen me and you liked this, like the video. And thank you guys so much for 720 subscribers. Oh my gosh, thank you all so much. And if you want to see more of me, I post every single day. I post shorts and I go live pretty frequently. The next time I will 100% be live, if it's not a secret stream, will be this Saturday, Sunday, and the upcoming Monday and Tuesday. So be on the lookout for that. I just made my Discord and I'm still actively working on it. So bear with me, but you can join. It is labeled in my post and will be in the description of this video. So I hope you guys enjoyed today's video because this is something that I cannot keep seeing. How is the main point of these games something that people don't understand? Maybe they're just not actual fans or taking enough time to look at it. But war never changed does not mean everything gets destroyed and that everything that our characters do 15 years prior will literally mean nothing, because that is what they're showing us with Vegas. And I hope that that is just a red herring, but I'm going off on a tangent and I don't want to talk bad about the show because I love the show, and make that be known. I love the Fallout show. The only thing I don't like is why they had to take us to New Vegas. We didn't need to go there. So let's get out of there by the end of the season, please, and don't leave us on a cliffhanger there, please. So, with all that being said, you are loved, you are cared for, and you stay safe out there, Wastelanders.